Hi everybody, it's Susan from Sunrise Quilt Studio, and today I have another vintage quilt block for you. This one is called Jack and Six, or you may know it as a Tennessee block. This is a Nancy Page pattern. So this is a vintage one, and it's a good beginner block because it's just made with half square triangles and single squares. It is asymmetrical, so you can put this in a quilt and turn every other block and get lots of different patterns out of it. So you will see a lot of secondary patterns come out. So at the end of the video, I'll show you a couple of pictures of layouts that I made in EQ8, and that'll show you a little bit better about different secondary patterns that come out in this block. So anyway, I hope you stick with me and I'll show you how to make this block. I lost the audio to this video, so I'm going to do some voiceover here, and in this section I'm going to show you the pieces that you need to make the block. And for A, you're going to need one 4-inch square, B is two 3.5-inch squares, C is three 4-inch squares, D is one 3.5-inch square, and for E you need four 4-inch squares. Now when you make these half square triangles, you are going to have an extra yellow and white one and one extra gray and white one, so you can save those for another project. So next we're going to make the half square triangles, and then we'll lay out the block and sew it together. To make the half square triangles, I've drawn a diagonal line on the wrong side of the E squares, which are the background squares, and I put them right sides together with, this is an A square here, and I'm going to place a pin on both sides, and that just kind of keeps it stable while I sew. And now I'm going to stitch a 1/4 inch away from both sides of the drawn line. And then once I have that drawn, I'm going to cut them apart right on that drawn line, and you can use scissors like I'm doing here, or you can use your rotary cutter. And this will give me two half square triangles out of those pieces. And now I'm repeating the same steps with the gray squares and the background squares. So that will give me the half square triangles that I need in that colorway. once all the half square triangles are made and pressed, I need to trim those down so that they measure 3.5 inches square. So I'm going to use my little 5-inch square ruler, and I'm going to line the two edges with the 3.5 inch mark, and then I'm going to make sure that that diagonal line is right along the seam line there, and then I will trim off the other two edges. And now I'm going to lay out the pieces so that I have them in the right orientation for sewing. So following the diagram and making sure I have all the pieces turned the right way. Now this is an asymmetrical block, so for me it's easier for me to get things turned in the wrong direction here. So I'm trying to be careful and laying everything out in the correct orientation. And the trick with this block is the background triangles all point towards the center. And if you can get that part right, then you're going good. Now you will have one extra half square triangle from each colorway, one yellow one and one gray one here in my instance. So you can save those for another project, or you can use them in another block if you're making a bunch of blocks for a quilt with this same pattern here. So now I've got everything in the right orientation. So now I'm going to sew things together in rows, and then I'll sew the rows together. So while I've got everything laid out, I'm going to place things in the sewing order. So I'll be placing the pieces in the second row on top of the pieces in the first row, and then sewing them. Okay, that is it for the Jack in 6 block. This is an interesting block. It is simple to put together, and yet it can make a really interesting quilt when you make a quilt full of these blocks. So I hope you'll give this one a try. Now, if you like this video, please click that like button. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and click that notification bell so you'll be notified when the next video comes up. And in the meantime, I hope you're all staying safe and healthy, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. For more quilting ideas, click on the video links. And to keep up with my latest projects, click on the subscribe button. I hope to see you again soon.